So, hello, my name is Graham. I'm from the Vintage Guitar Players group, and welcome to the next episode of Vintage Legends. If you want to find us in the group, by the way, you can check out facebook.com/groups/the Vintage Place. You can find us on Instagram at 95 Vintage Legends, and we absolutely love you forever if you wouldn't mind hitting subscribe below and hitting the little notification bell. So, today, I'm here with JJ Watt from the City Kids. So, JJ, thank you very much for joining us today. As someone who also hails from up these neck of the woods, we are both sweltering, and if you are looking at this in retrospect, it is like about 26, 27 degrees or something. It's just unreasonable.
Something daft like that, yeah.
It's unreasonable.
Too hot. It's too hot.
Yeah, anything above 20 is too much for us. And one thing we should say, I suppose, if we both have the advantage of having the native tongue for up here, is if anyone thinks at any point it sounds like we're speaking in tongues or anything, there's nothing wrong with us. It's just us.
There's a good chance we may go more Scottish as it goes on. And you'll need subtitles towards the end.
That could possibly happen, and I hope we don't need subtitles because that's a pain to add. So, JD, thanks for joining us today, man.
Pleasure.
If you could tell us a bit more about your music.
What should we say? The City Kids. We're I just want to say we're a rock and roll band. So we're a bit punky. We've got elements of, I don't know, pop, rock, metal, country, Scottish folk music all the way through it. You'll just pick sort of 3-minute catchy choruses, that kind of thing. Fun. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
A bit of
People seem to have fun, and you kind of, especially these days, I want to have fun when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
If people have been good enough to buy tickets, come and see you, or buy your stuff, you should. I feel that there's a duty to let them leave with a smile on their face, and if they don't leave the show with a smile on your face, you failed. You kind of that's the ethos of what we do.
Oh, I see.
People, yeah.
Yeah, I must see there. And again, it's one of these things. I think there's a time and a place sometimes if people are really into it for music that goes into things and not a lot more detail or more technically speaking, but sometimes you just want to listen to something and come out and go, that was amazing. And just this total grin in your face kind of thing, not have to think too much about it.
I think one of my favourite comments I had about this was, we did an open air festival in Sheffield at Don Valley Bowl last year. It was one of the first shows we did. And it's like, the Don Valley Bowl, so big outdoor stage. And a guy, he'd never heard of us, didn't know why we were so far up the bill. But he said, basically, we seemed like the kind of band you'd see in a bar on a Friday night when you've got your wage packet in your crumpled up brown envelope. And beers and a great time and go home. And he said, within about 2 songs, we transformed this open air festival into that bar, and everybody felt part of it. It was kind of that's great. I really like that.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. There is absolutely a talent in being able to, especially with like a kind of bigger venue or somewhere that's, a kind of outdoor venue, especially where sound can be a bit interesting at times. There's a real skill and real talent to be able to make it feel like it's just this small place. Like, not every band has that,
No, I don't know. I don't even, well, maybe it's talent. I'll take that because it's nice. I think it's the kind of, we always get called relatable. That's probably from a songwriting perspective. But as well, we don't shout at people or talk at people. We try and make sure that the audience is part of the show, so you kind of talk with them.
Yeah.
So you're almost having banter in between songs with people and make them feel part of it. And if you do that, that's the best bit. I mean, we're all having a blast as well, because we've all been in a ton of other bands. I mean, the bass player's in Tiger Tails, the guitarist is also with Warrior Soul and a bunch of other bands, and drummers in a band called Fallen Red and various others. We've been doing it forever.
Yeah.
And we all seem to be, sometimes you go to see a band, even if they're a bigger band, and there's always one of them that's out in the crowd having beers and a laugh. Well, we've got 4 of those guys in one band. So it's like, yeah, we like the dressing rooms and chilling out for a bit, maybe toweling down after the show so you're presentable, but there's nothing better. I tell all the younger bands that come out with us or are on the same bills, would be like, get out there and speak to people, because, like, they're probably going to tell you that they had a great time and they really like you, and it's really not a hard conversation to have. And even though for you it's like 5-10 minutes of your time, you might make somebody's night, and they'll remember you and then they'll come back. So we have the Facebook group. I mean, like, we didn't do live streams, during lockdown. Our timing was we got together, we just finished recording the first album. We'd never all been in the same room at this point together. And we finished it, and then we went into lockdown about a week later. About maybe 3 weeks after the drummer finished his last drum track within lockdown, I produced it. And everyone's going, it's got so much energy and what a vibe. And like, we haven't met yet as a four. We all, at least 2 people knew one other person, so we all were interrelated, as it were, but we'd never got in a room as a band and jammed.
Yeah.
I think we did that. We've had one rehearsal ever in the history of the world, which we had on the way to our first show for 2 hours.
Give it a bash just in case.
We've all been doing it that long, and if everybody knows your own bit, it's more a case of trying not to trip over each other on stage. Start.
Literally,
you generally go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you do the song, and if you finish at the same time, you're great. And we put the guitarist lives in Copenhagen. I'm down between Leeds and York. Bass players in Nottingham, drummers in Carlisle. So getting together on a regular basis is costly and logistically problematic, shall we say. So we just crack on and do what we do. And then, we try out new songs in sound checks because, our sound is dialed in anywhere we play. So we have time. So we'll try something new. And if it works, we might throw it in this set. If it doesn't, we'll try it at the next show until we get it right. But that's what we did. So it's kind of fun. Or in the case of the last 2 shows, we did with the first album, the limited edition pre-order one came with a second album of covers called Shit That We Like, which was entirely descriptive. And it was kind of random with sort of Cheap Tricks, Springsteen, Super Suckers, Therapy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we did Travelling Band by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Guitarist sings it. We just went, it's an E, let's give it a go. And we didn't even try it. And it wasn't too much of a train wreck, to be fair. It was quite good. So we did it next time.
It's always an advantage when it's, just kind of goes kind of a plan.
Yeah, well, but then we'll tell the crowd as well. We'll go, we haven't even rehearsed this one.
We'll wing that. No, that's, again, it's testament to that kind of talent to be able to do that sort of thing. And in terms of the kind of guitar side of things, then how did you discover vintage in the first place? I
got into vintage through another endorser, which is Paul Guerin from Choir Boys.
Yeah.
And he started playing them, and I knew him, and I'm kind of like, oh, are they any good? I've obviously heard the name for years. And it was just about the point in time where I was getting rid of, what do you call it? Yeah. It's like if you're trendy, labels mean everything. Like you've got to have, like, I don't know, Adidas trainers or something, right? Or that. And then when you get it with guitars, once you get round the name on the end of the headstock, it opens a whole new world up for you. So yeah, I got that. It was Gwen was playing them at a couple of shows, and I'm like, really nice. And I looked and went, well, looks nice. Gav Coulson was the artist liaison at the time.
Yeah.
Who's now Oliver Dawson Saxon, as I'm sure you know. He hooked me up as an endorsee, and I came through, and I was playing a festival in Scotland that became Wildfire, but I believe it was Les Fest before that.
Ah, another one.
Maybe 14 years ago or something. And I only had one guitar, bizarrely, at the time. I still have this guitar, but I wanted a backup still. I wanted one. I actually wanted the vintage, the Fillmore, the Jimi Hendrix lookalike.
Yeah.
But it was a single coil, and I'm more of a bucker guy. So I got one of the V6 Icons, the sort of tobacco burst Stevie Ray Vaughan looking relic one.
Another one.
came through. They couldn't get it to me in time, so I got a lift through after work and finished it early. Got there just before they closed, grabbed this guitar, went to a show. We did a warm-up in Sheffield the night before, so I started the show with it. Straight, like, literally out the cardboard box.
Jeez.
Started playing. I went, what did I stick it through? I'm sticking it through an EVH3 at the time. And I don't use pedals, I use the guitar and my amp. I'm one of those one sound guys. And I kind of went, this is really nice. And then I got up to Wildfire. There's a couple of guys, actually guys from Falling Red, guys from Burning Crows, and a bunch of other bands that we knew. Massive wagons who were not massive at the time, but still small. And they're all looking at this thing going, that's gorgeous. I'm like, I know, isn't it? It's like, I won't be so vulgar as to say what I got it for, but I had endorsee pricing, so I obviously got a good price. And they were like, no way. I'm like, yeah, it feels way more expensive. I'm like, yeah, it does. And it looks great. And that started me off. I am still, to this day, never got the Hendrix one yet. Every time I wanted to, had some money to go and get it, it was out of stock. And then every time it was in stock, I didn't have any money. And I'm like,
swords on it. Oh,
yeah.
I can see some toys hiding away just there in the background. So tell me more of your plans. Yeah, would love to.
Would you like a tour?
Would love. What kind of models and what kind of mods you've got?
Oh, I have all the mods. Right, so I got this one. It was the first SG style one I ever played in my life. And
it's a VS6.
It's a VS6.
Very nice.
Yeah, 6W.
BW. One.
So, gosh, I like it a lot. It's in our latest video as well, because I used it all through a few shows. The only mods legitimately on this are the pickups, which even though they look exactly the same as the other ones, they are iron gear pickups.
Cool.
This is the rolling mill in the neck, and the bridge is the incredibly titled Hot Slag. Because they basically iron gear, they do everything to do with steelwork and names like that.
Yeah,
so,
and some nice, nice gold surrounds as well.
Yeah, yeah. That was Nathan from the ProShop, because I'm the world's worst solderer, shall we say. So I'm kind of, could you swap my pickups for me, please? And he went, I've got these gold surrounds that might look really nice on it. And I'm just like, knock yourself. Are they going to cost me? No. Knock yourself.
Put me up then.
So we did that. And yeah, it's truly monstrous. It's, you know, as most of the vintages now do, it's got the Grover tulips on it. And,
yeah.
But I am going to change the tuners, because I've got so used to locking tuners now, especially in a live scenario now. Old bands I was in, we had guitar techs. You give them the guitar, and it comes back tuned and restrung. Right? Yeah. I've got to do it myself at me. So I'm like winding it and like spitting feathers and going, this shouldn't be so hard. So it's the only thing I've got without locking tuners. So it's like, oh, I hate this. I'm going to get the same but locking probably. Yeah. So that's this one. I do like this. This one's very, you'll like this. This is an interesting one. I used to play bass, and I had a deal with Spectre.
Okay.
So all my basses were Spectre. They're great. And then I got rid of them all because I've got a few hand problems and I can't really play bass anymore properly. And then I suddenly realised I don't have a bass for demos, and I can't really. I've got bass, so I have this, which is it's gorgeous.
74. Very nice.
Yeah. But you won't see this one. This is one of the samples. They never made it this colour. Yeah. So I've got one of the original samples, and I'm thinking, why didn't you make it in this colour? It's lovely. Yeah, it's a really nice bass. So I really like this. Literally no mods. It's still got the shrink wrap on the paper. Because it's just for demo and bass, because I demo it and send it, do my vocals, take the bass out, send it down to our guy who records it. So, yeah. Very, very nice.
Very nice.
Gosh. Oh, to continue. This one's more than a bit special. Now broken.
Let's not have that.
You know, we vintage to the Joe Doe range. So
Yes.
this, however, is the ProShop version of the Salty Dog. So they basically took a Salty Dog and made it fantastic. The relic on it's way different and much, much better. We've got some Lucky Grovers there on the back.
That's awesome.
And the beautiful ProShop logo. And I have, like, the pickups, if I can get that in there.
Yeah.
They're my signature jobs from a company up in Whitley Bay called Ghost Guitar Pickups. They also make them for Bruce from Big Country and the Skids.
Ah, cool. Cool.
So we met him in my old band Main Range years ago, playing up in Newcastle with the Wild Arts. He was like, "Would you like some pickups? You guys are great." I was like, "Okay."
I'm so used to that, thanks.
Yeah, so Wolf keeps making me these sets, and yeah, this guitar is something else because it kind of looks a bit strappy. It feels to me a bit more. It's not a V6, not in any way. It's one of the Joe Doe ones. It's a bit chunkier, a bit heavier, maybe more like a Charbel San Dimas or something like that.
Okay.
Literally every time this features in a few videos as well because I just played it constantly for like the first 9 months we were on tour.
Yeah. Because
it sounds, the pickups, obviously, with being a set of 3 dual rails.
Yeah, I was going to say they will make an extra bit of crunch happen.
It doesn't sound like a Strat in any way whatsoever. So I love this thing so much. And yeah, every time people see it, they're just, "What's that?"
Yeah, it's something a good bit of characters in it.
Yeah, it's like, what's ProShop?
The job looks amazing as well.
The other one as well is the last one. You see, when you sent me the mail about what you may or may not say about designing my dream vintage.
Yes, that takes us nicely on to the next question.
I did. So this is mine. It's another ProShop one, which I like the ProShop theory in that you can basically go, "I want something that looks like this kind of shape with these kind of pickups and anything you want really," and they make it. You know, like if you want bare knuckles in it, you got bare knuckles in it, and that kind of thing. This thing's got. We've got some lock-in Graphtec ratio tuners, which is. I was asking about them because I've not heard about them, and the principle is for every string, 1 full ton of your peg is like 1 fret, but each string, and it's real, and it's a bit weird compared to a normal tuner, but when you get used to it, you kind of go, "Why are all tuners not like this?" Because if you want to, for instance, drop D for a song, you twist it all the way around twice, and it's basically there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. We've got, I don't know if you see so much, but it's like a
bit of a mix, and there was the
top one there as well, which is beautiful. We got the red was mixed kind of specifically. There's another set of iron gears in there as well, which but they're not the same. Yeah, we did. We sort of left sort of the gold here, gold screws, and leave the gold nuts on the top, so you've kind of got a line in it. It's just
no, it looks nice on it.
The other one I've got a Top Guy Love Rock, which is a white custom Les Paul shape.
Yeah.
But black hardware. But I did the same thing. But the reason I did it on that was, well, in the main, I didn't have the ability to take the bits out that I wanted to when I put the black stuff on, so I left them. But then when I put the black nuts on the end, the headstock just kind of went, ugh, I'm not even there. So put the gold ones back on and it looks subtle.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
the other thing as well with the ProShop side of things, then, you mentioned that you got in touch to see about getting that made for you. So one thing that a lot of folk probably don't know is
it's incredible.
I mean, speak to them and see, I've got a V100 or I want a V6 or I want a V6 or I want a V75, you can say to them basically, this is what I'm looking for, and get it
you can
spec'd up.
spec it. I mean, it doesn't. My Tokai that I mentioned is currently in there at the minute, and they're putting Seymour Duncan P rails in it and just changing a lot of stuff up for me for that. But yeah, you can go, because I looked at the Thomas Blue guitars because I quite like them. Okay. But if I've got a Strat, I much prefer the Verse headstock. I like that. But then, so you've got the Blue Summer of Love, and personally, I look at the paint job on that and went, you would just want to set fire to it. It's horrible. I don't like it. So I'm kind of going, right, could you do me like a less relict blue signature, but with the Summer Love neck on it, and maybe some Duncan T-rails in the bridge so it's proper. Yeah, of course you can. What kind of tuners do you want? And it's great. I mean, the red one, it was set off by an idea. I mean, like, I'm getting old, but like back in 95, right? In 95 when Slash was doing the Slash's Snake Pit stuff.
Yeah.
Eberford brought out like Slash signature model. It was red, but it had a horrific dragon pulling up it. Yeah. Snake or whatever it was.
With the top hat and the cigarette. And that's one.
I kind of always wanted that guitar, and I never got it.
But it's when scratched that other thing off it.
Aye, but it was a different kind of red from your wine reds or your cherry reds and the things you normally see. And then I look at a lot of, because I played a lot of guitars, but actually what you see here apart from the talk is this is what I'm down to until I buy some more vintage guitars. I've got rid of PRSs, a couple of the vintages that went to very good homes, a couple of the top guys. And I just play these now, and it's just so good. And yeah, but some of the PRSs have got like the nice flame top trans finishes and things. So I just thought, if you get like a red kind of Les Paul looking thing, but with like a quilt or a flame top, but a really like a bright red, not a dull red, that'd be lovely. When I was speaking to them, it was their suggestion was to leave the back black and just have literally the top red. Kind of went, if you think it looks good, we'll do that. And I kind of went, look to me.
It still look pretty sharp, in fairness.
Yeah. I mean, they do some mad stuff. There's, they did a telly. It was called it was a V62, but it was, they called it the Stormtrooper. And I'm looking at it going, oh, I never had that. It looks so much like Rick Parfitt's white telly that I'd like. Yeah. And like, they do a lot of the relicing stuff, but it's when they do things like this and they're really shiny and nice.
It's that little gloss thing about it's nice, isn't it? Yeah. I think as far as I know, Ivan Mearns, I think if you get in touch with Ivan Mearns, you can look to see about getting quotes for ProShop stuff. So
you can do it through Morocco. You can also just go to Vintage Guitars R Us at ProShop, and there's a form, and you can just tell them exactly what you're after, and they'll get back in touch, and then you have a discussion and see what you want, and then you get a price for it, and it's great.
It's pretty straightforward.
I saw one that was amazing, and then they said somebody brought in one of these like 40 grand Fender ProShop jobs, and they took lots of pictures of it, redid it with a V6, and apart from the headstock name, you couldn't tell the difference. Apart from maybe the vintage looked better, but they hand cracked all the paintwork and things, and which is something you can see on this actually. If I can get it in close enough, they've kind of like there's lots of cracks in it.
Yeah, I can see just in there, in the pocket.
Oh, amazing, and bullet holes and lumps. Because sometimes the factory relic guitars, you're kind of looking going, well, how did you wear that bit out? Nobody playing would wear that bit out ever. You just wouldn't do it. So the ProShop relics actually look like they've been played, and they don't go, they're not matte finished, because old guitars have that kind of waxy, oily look.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You kind of keep trying to clean it and keep it going while your paint's falling out. So they do that, and kind of like, they're really nice. Some of the ones I've seen have been incredible. They did one called The Boss, based on one of Springsteen's old ones.
Yeah, that was really nice.
That was over at Nam, I believe, as well, and went down a storm.
Yeah, I heard a lot of attention. I think, yeah, it's making me think what possibilities I might need to try and think. I need to whittle it down to something before I get in touch. So, on the front of music,
Yeah.
I know obviously you mentioned you're kind of putting some finishing touches to stuff. Where can we find out more about you guys online?
The main website is www.thecitykids.net.
Cool.
And I've kind of simplified the website mainly through laziness, and mainly because it's basically a one-page website which has got like videos, news, tour dates, endorsers, like vintage at the bottom.
Yeah.
At the same time, the only other page is the store where you can buy stuff, obviously. And at the bottom, I think, at the bottom of the store, I've got a record label called Very Fried Artist, which is basically, because we do the City Kids stuff through Cargo Records, they set us up on all the digital platforms, so we went instantly on Spotify with a blue tick.
Right, okay.
Then the guitarist said, "What's that mean?" I went, "Verified artist," and he went, "More like very fried." I went, "Oh, that's good. Yeah, let's use that." And then we've got Very Fried Artist stuff, and I put sort of my side projects and things if they're on there, and yeah, just at the very bottom. We're on Facebook, which is, I don't remember.
Sorry, I'll find that. I'll put a little link up as we speak. A little thing appears magically here.
Yeah, it's the City Kids. We're dead easy to find, but we are not the Welsh band of many years ago, because they spelled their name with a Z.
And you're unmistakably not Welsh.
Yeah, ironically though, the drummer from the original City Kids back in the 70s and 80s is currently the drummer for Tiger Tails with our bass player.
That is some small world
Really
stuff.
weird. Everything is related. See, I've just found our website. On our website, we also have a link at the bottom to all our social media sites. So Facebook, cool. I think it's just Facebook, the City Kids. Yeah.
That's all good.
Instagram is the City Kids Official. Spotify, just search for the City Kids, we come up. It's kind of getting all over the place at the minute. It's just fun, yeah. We have a few releases out. We've been blessed with some really nice names on some of the recordings as well. Like the first album we had Tracy Guns from LA Guns, and
that's pretty cool.
Obviously the Guns from Guns N' Roses. So at him we had Corey Clark from Warrior Soul, and then on the bonus disc I mentioned earlier, we had guys from like Cradle of Filth, Girls' School. To name a few. It was just a massive list of people. We did our anniversary in December, fell basically on the 40th anniversary of Motorhead releasing Motorhead the single.
Okay. And
we're named after the City Kids was the B-side of the first Motorhead single. So we completely ripped off that single cover, but did it for us. We covered City Kids, the song, and then we did Born to Raise Hell, Bomber, and Please Don't Touch. And we had Ryder from Nashville Pussy singing the girl part on Please Don't Touch. We had Jay from Tiger Tails popped up on that one, Bomber doing some solos. Eddie Spaghetti from the Super Suckers and Born to Raise Hell. It's just kind of great.
That's awesome.
Awesome. We all just kind of, we got Tracy Guns because our guitarist, so her best friend was Tracy's wife. So they knew each other. And he was like, "Do you want to play on this?" And he went, "Yeah, all right."
Why not?
It's literally that. 20-year-old me wishes I knew what I know now and the people I know now, because you just think, that would have been good. But I probably wouldn't have appreciated it or used it as well as I do now, shall we say.
Well, that's pretty awesome, though. That's pretty awesome.
So many people from my record collection that I know now, and it's kind of funky.
That's amazing, the passage of time and the weird kind of things that happen. It's a small world.
Yeah.
Listen, what I would like to say very, very, very much appreciated you've come along, especially because I think we are both probably a couple of pounds lighter in terms of like fluid loss since we started this, and you
At
know,
least 10 pounds, I think, yeah.
but listen, very, very much appreciate you coming along and obviously showing us the guitars and giving us a kind of tour around and told us about music and such, and very much appreciated. So thank you so much, JD.
It's been an absolute blast. Absolutely. I think I like my vintage stuff quite a lot. It's really cool. And I like this way more than the whole normal interviews that we get off with like magazines and things where you kind of like, whereas it's nice and chilled out and have a good time. Sweat quite a lot.
Definitely getting the sweat today.
If we do another one, we should do it maybe like November, December time.
Or just some of the air conditioning or whatever, man. That's absolutely fine with me either way.
Yeah. That would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe on the beach in Aberdeen, that's always cold, no matter if the sun's out.
That we should do. Well, listen, I think we should get something else in the diary. But listen, thank you so much for joining us today, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. If I can help at anytime, just let me know.
Thanks, man.
That's what we do.
Enjoy the rest of your day, right? Cheers, man.
All right, bro.